For all of recorded history, civilizations around the world praised the health benefits of silver. At InfoWars Life, our mission is to bring you the highest quality, purest, cleanest, effective colloidal silver on the market today for the lowest price available. You don't have to be a doctor to know. The fall and winter months are the most dangerous time of year in North America when it comes to you and your family's health. InfoWarsLife.com is very excited to announce our biggest run yet of Silver Bullet colloidal silver, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Now, InfoWarsLife.com has taken colloidal silver to the next level using a cutting-edge technique that is free of toxic artificial additives. Now more than ever, it's important to stock up on high-quality Silver Bullet from InfoWarsLife.com. No survival chest is complete without Silver Bullet. Secure your Silver Bullet today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Silver Bullet.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operations.
We let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun and you can feel it.
I'll show you politics in America. Here it is, right here. I think the puppet on the right shares my beliefs. I think the puppet on the left is more to my liking. Hey, wait a minute. There's one guy holding up both puppets. Shut up. Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control.
Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones.
Robert David Steele is our guest. Very interesting, informative guy. I want to pick his brain about the different geopolitical movements we're seeing, not just here in the United States. I know we've got a lot of callers that also would like to make a statement about how to try to fix our government or how to try to reverse the dictatorial slide that we're in. And I want Mr. Steele to be able to finish the point he was just making. We can have him back up in the future as well, or even here to town in studio to put on, you know, some of the ideas that he has. Here's what I see. If I was the establishment, which I know infights with itself, it's not totally monolithic. If I was the Western establishment, the Anglo-American establishment, as Carroll Quigley called it, or Brzezinski or Rockefeller, I would be trying to promote institutions of freedom. I would want transparency. I would want due process because, A, that produces incredible wealth, but B, it also secures the wealth of the elite, who can tend to sit up on top of things and skim off the top and get even richer. But instead, they want to kill the golden goose and totally bring in corporate fascism, corporate kleptocracy, crony capitalism, discrediting capitalism itself, and are setting up autocratic, oppressive, classically dictatorial systems. and Google announcing they'll decide what's true or not and delist websites. I mean, this is all really scary, and I see the left as horrible cheerleaders for all of it, just like the Republican leadership is. So you, I guess, kind of see a coalition of libertarians and paleoconservatives with the left. And if things get bad enough, that could happen. The problem is the left has these sacraments of restricting guns and, you know, men need not wear pants and you know, things like just stupid social. I mean, look at Zuckerberg. He's funding right now men do more work during, you know, ads on the NBA, as if men did something bad, you know, more divide and conquer. So I get, in general, the idea. I mean, it could be a third-party candidate out of nowhere if they have the right rhetoric and get into the debates would win hands down. They'll just never let it get to that point. So I've thrown a lot out there. Let me ask you this. Why do you think, historically, even though long-term it's bad, but currently, why is the establishment unified only, in my view, on setting up totalitarianism? Why do they think that will protect them when historically that will destroy them?
Hey, Alex, first off, one of the reasons you're not supposed to marry first and second cousins is because incest makes you stupid.
Yeah.
And that's what we have among our 1% elite. That you now have inherited wealth and incest and a whole bunch of other things, and you've addressed pedophilia and Satanism, and these are some sick puppies. Now, the smartest ones, the most ethical ones, are starting to realize, precisely as you said, that their only protection from pitchforks and having their mansions burned down, and there's no place they can hide, including Switzerland, is an accommodation. And this is why I like Richard Wolff so much. I think he's really a great mind, and he's really putting out some good stuff, and I recommend all of his YouTubes, which I've been watching.
But I want an accommodation from the billionaires, not somebody making $200 grand a year. I'm sick of the billionaires trying to make accommodations with the engine of a free market, and then they never pay jack squat.
Look, one of the things that I really believe in is eliminating all taxes. I finally figured out the tax code. It's the way Congress blackmails people into bribing them. Okay? And,
yes.
And in fairness to business, it's Congress that shakes down business. It's not business that set out to bribe Congress. So if we do the Edgar Feige automated payment transaction tax, that taxes all transactions, including the currency and stock transactions of Wall Street that are not now tax. That creates more than enough money.
It does.
We have a balanced budget. We eliminate the subsidies for the fossil fuel business. We eliminate the subsidies for the moronic think tanks like New America Foundation and all these other places that just have people going through the motions and chasing money. They have no integrity. So I'm telling you, one of the things that I've done right with this campaign that is starting to take off is firmly insisted from the very beginning that this is a nonviolent revolution and that truth and reconciliation are our hallmarks. All we want from the 1% is keep your wealth, get out of our way.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. They always say, oh, we got to keep the economy going. Humanity is so prosperous. If they just get out of our way with all their crony bureaucracy and selective enforcement, the wealth and innovation is just startling. The way they block, quote, all the disruptive technologies.
That's why I think the libertarians are central to the solution.
Well, I agree with you, and it's very exciting. And, I mean, I have the London Guardian. I mean, we already knew this, but now it's in the Wall Street Journal, the London Guardian, that the elites admit at Davos they're buying airstrips in the Arctic, airstrips in New Zealand, airstrips in the desert of Australia, and building armored redoubts. And it's not just a few of them. I mean, they're building them in the Ozarks. Their government's digging in. Why? Why not just fix things and let there be prosperity? Why gobble up everything and then go, oh my gosh, this is going to collapse, and then run to the hills? Why?
Well, you really have to understand, there's an excellent book called Business Blind Spots by Ben Gilad. And one of the things he points out is that the information that is reaching these people, including presidents of countries as well as corporations, the information is invariably filtered, biased, late, or false. Okay? So these people are operating in an alternative reality. And one of the things that we have to do is actually get to the point where we can retake the Congress. We can then start to publish truth rather than Google's version of the truth, or the Obama version of the truth, or the 700 Club version of the truth. And I believe that we are on the verge of a major convergence and also a major breakout. All of our prior institutions, including labor unions, the church, and the universities, have failed. Sure. We're about to go into Revolution 3.0.
Well, when you mentioned the inbreeding, by the third dynasty, I know because I was reading about it just again the other day, of the Egyptians, they, on average, would live to be about 12. They were about 3 feet tall. They were completely, I mean, seriously, they had so many disorders in the royal family. If you've ever gone to like one of the British museums or others, and you go through and see the mummies of this king, this queen, they're all literally completely insane and mutated from interbreeding and marrying their sisters and brothers over and over again for 500 years. You look at this and you talk about the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Astors. It's a handful of families that interbreed with each other, and they admittedly, I mean, the Queen of England has most of her siblings are locked up in mental institutions or already dead. Most of, and it's very sad, but you're absolutely right. So many of these elites are what Anthony Gucciardi, my buddy, calls aliens. He calls all the rich trust fund kids in Austin that we run into aliens. And I mean, they could be 50, a trust fund kid. They don't know what planet they're on. They don't know how to tie their shoelaces, but they've got brand new Ferraris. And they have no idea what's even going on.
Well, look, let me come back to a positive note. You talked about the billionaires. One of the things that I've noticed is that Warren Buffett, Tom Steyer, and Bill Gates have all admitted that not only is the system broken, but all of the money they've been giving away to charity and various issues has been wasted. All right. So what's happening now is there is a growing realization among a critical center of gravity mass that if we set aside the issues, if we stop trying to push one thing, like Lawrence Lessig is completely wrong to be focused on getting money out of politics. That's a side issue. One of the things that I found when I briefed in Portland is people's eyes were opened. They suddenly realized that electoral reform is 11 different things, and among them ballot access and paper ballots and hand counting at the polling station and no mail ballots, because mail ballots is basically code for fraud. All of this stuff matters. Getting money out of politics makes no difference at all if you still have gerrymandered districts and you keep people from actually being eligible as independents or Greens or Libertarians to run for office or to be elected. So here's the deal. If Steyer wants to make his money work for climate change, first, he has to fund electoral reform.
Again, pulling back from the day-to-day garbage that's going on and just seeing the direction that the establishment's going in, if there isn't real moves towards reform and instead a move towards totalitarianism to control things, and clearly I think they've made that decision in the main, that's the direction they're going. I agree with you. There's a lot of signs that some of the more sane people in the establishment realize that's going to end up being a bear trap that catches their leg more than it catches the general public's leg. But where does this go as not just a field guy in the CIA and actual operations, but also as an analyst looking into that crystal ball? Where does the world go if we don't start reforming?
Well, first off, I got to tell you, I was just watching this video of a guy that stripped down to nothing during a TSA search to protest unreasonable search and seizure. And I wrote an article that was widely read on the 2 cops that were killed in New York. The canary dies also. The system is very close to imploding. It's unsustainable in its current form. And it might be able to elect another Manchurian candidate in 2016, but all indications are that by 2020, we have American populism back in power. So I'd rather not waste those 4 years. And if people will take a look at the Electoral Reform Act of 2015 and the open power concept, I believe that we can non-violently get us back on track. And my final phrase, there's nothing wrong with the United States of America that can't be fixed and fixed quick by restoring integrity to our electoral system and to our government.
Oh, I agree. As screwed up as things are, historically, we could turn it around with the gravitas, the power we still have. But if they push much further into a totalitarianism, we're done. I mean, they are so close to breaking this country.
They will hasten, they will